guys, it's Lauren Yates from Rave It Up here, and today we're going to be chatting over Zoom with the technical advisor of the TV show SWAT, Odie Gallop. He has come back on the show. Last time he was on was back in October last year. But this time, we're going to go in depth and talk about behind the scenes of Season 5 and talk about certain episodes in detail.
Before we get into today's interview, we would like to give a shout out to our Patreons, Irene, Bev, and Michael. If you haven't heard of Patreon before, it is a great way to support us and keep us running and improving. You pick a membership tier that suits you and your budget per month, and in return for supporting us, we'll give you behind-the-scenes content and free stuff. You don't have to give much either. You can be a part of our Patreons for as little as $4 a month. Just visit patreon.com/raveitup. You can even donate through PayPal if you don't trust other sites. You can do so just through our email, raveituptv@gmail.com. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact us. We appreciate anything you can do to support us. Now, let's get into this interview.
Odie, welcome back to Rave It Up. It is a pleasure to have you on the show again. How are you going today?
Well, good. Thanks for having me again. I'm surprised, you got the regular guy coming on, not the big celebrity you're usually used to, but thanks for having me.
Oh, you got all the behind the scenes goss. We have to have you on, right?
Well, that's true.
And I got to say, time really has flown, because last time we spoke was October last year. How quickly did that go, right? We both have busy lives, though, so it's understandable.
Yeah, no, that is definitely went quick.
Yeah. So as a quick rundown, what has been going on since then? Have you still been doing that security work on the side when SWAT hasn't been filming?
I haven't been able to do that lately since probably it's been a few months, just because we've been doing location scout, so I haven't really had a lot of time to do the side hustle, as we call it. But we wrap April, like the end of April, so hopefully I'll start doing some more stuff on the side after that when I have a little bit more time.
Cool. So you're just enjoying finally some relaxed time, even though I think from our last interview you're like, I don't like that.
No, yeah, I'm not into taking time off. We work Tuesday through Saturday, and I kind of like that schedule just because Mondays you can get stuff done if you have appointments and all that kind of stuff. If you have to get your weekends off, traffic out here on Saturdays is just horrendous. So working on Saturday, some people don't like it, but a lot of people do like it because you can get some, you have Mondays off so you can get some stuff done.
I completely agree with that. For some people, I haven't worked a 9-to-5 job really ever in my life. So when I think about it, I'm like, how do people get stuff done during the day? If you got to go to the post office and you finish at 5 p.m., how does that help?
Right, really.
As you said, Monday you can do all those appointments. So that's a good balance, I'd say, which is fantastic.
Yes.
And I got to say, congratulations are in order, because last month you guys reached 100 episodes of SWAT. Woohoo! What did you all do to celebrate? Did you go out, have heaps of cake?
We worked, and then, we had some people come up, the producers, some CBS executives came up to the stages, and we had a little celebration. Each one of them talked and had some cake. And, then we went back to work. So some of it, a little celebration after that, after we get off. But, it was back to work. It's crazy to realize it's been 100 episodes already. You don't get that milestone a lot in today's world or today's industry for television, cable and all that kind of stuff. So it's a huge milestone.
It sure is. You guys should be very proud. You got a fantastic, can I say, product there with the show. And here's to 100 more, right? Fingers crossed.
Yes, hopefully we can get a few more out of it. Yes.
Hopefully we can get the 200 episode milestone. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we'll try.
I don't know. There's not many shows out there that done that, but who knows?
No, there's not.
Now, today I want to talk about, a few episodes in Season 5 in detail, if possible. I know maybe some things you won't be able to share, but we'll see how we go. And as I said before recording, I've watched them all now, except for one, which just released last night. So I didn't really have time before I interviewed to do that. So, but the last episode I watched was episode 12 called Provenance, where they have that art heist. So this season kicks off with Hondo in Mexico, guys, if you haven't watched
Correct.
it already.
Yes.
I want to really draw the people in if they haven't watched it already, which I gotta say is a very interesting beginning, really keeping us on the edge of our seat because we don't know whether, 20 Scott are gonna get back together or not and when he's coming back. Firstly, I'd love to know, was that actually filmed in Mexico or was it a little bit of like movie magic?
No, it was actually filmed in Mexico. We went down there, the producers and the assistant director, et cetera. They were down there probably about a month before we even got down there. And I went down there. It was a little town south of Mexico City called Tepoztlan. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correct, but I think so. And we were down there. I was down there for, it was probably about right around 2 weeks. And we were filming, every day. There was beautiful landscape there, beautiful scenery. The town was very accepting, and we filmed different places outside of the town also. And it was a great experience. It was we had fun, and we would always have dinner at night together when we got done. Our little group that we had, and it was actually filmed in Mexico.
Look at that. I was about to say, if that is a bit of movie magic and it wasn't in Mexico, you guys did a fantastic job.
That was the thing is a lot of people were they were texting and asking Shamar like, hey, that place is, I mean, the landscape, like the mountains and stuff, and they were like, you guys that's gotta be a green screen, right? And we were like, no, it's that we're actually here. And they're like, wow, that's just incredible. And we didn't film, we filmed a couple of little scenes when we came back, but everything was, the majority of the stuff was all filmed down there, so it was awesome.
Like a mini holiday as well for you, a little bit.
A little bit. It was, for a couple of weeks. I mean, it's in the town is in a, not a lot of communications. So the Wi-Fi and all that kind of stuff was kind of spotty here and there, but we had a good time together. We did really good. It was fun. And everybody worked hard. A lot of the crew was from Mexico, and, they were great. So it was a good time.
I'm gonna say, we've got to look at the positives there with not much internet. You guys actually got to really bond as a team, which you guys love to do.
Yeah.
I love that. And a lot of the first 2 episodes obviously were Hondo in Mexico, but sometimes it went back to, HQ where the other characters were. Does that mean you guys pretty much did all the filming in Mexico first and then went over there? Or was it all just being filmed at the exact same time in separate locations?
No, it was, we went to Mexico and did all that stuff first. And then when we came back is when they filled in all the other stuff, like HQ and the other characters. So, we did all the stuff in Mexico first.
Well, I know you're not an actor, but does that kind of make it confusing? Like, where am I up to in the storyline?
I'm pretty much up on that stuff because I go over all the scripts. They send me all the scripts and I go over them and I give them notes on the scripts on like what tactically, in the story stuff that law enforcement would not do, or maybe I need to correct, or I will send them stuff tactically. So I know, every episode before we shoot it, like a couple episodes ahead before we shoot them, because I give the writers notes on what they need to work on.
That's really cool. That's another whole part of your job that we don't even really realize, that when you're home, you need to read all those scripts. Must be a lot of them.
Definitely. There's a lot, but I enjoy doing it. It's like totally different from my real job that I had, and I have a good time doing it. It's fun and it's something different, and I have a lot of fun doing it, so I like it.
How many pages roughly is there per episode, and how long does that take you? You're slow or a fast reader?
I'm pretty fast. I go through and I pretty much key on like all the tactical stuff, and then I will look for other stuff within that, but I read the whole script. It usually takes me, probably an hour and a half to read the script. Then it'll probably take me maybe another hour and a half, maybe, to give notes and write notes and then send them into the writers that have written that episode.
Okay. So do you think like you probably add more in or you take more stuff out?
Probably a little bit of both. I mean, by now, it's season 5. Some of the writers are OGs and they've been there a while, so some of them kind of know what I like and what I will probably, I'll probably bump on and talk to them about. But they're usually pretty good about that. We have some new writers this season, and so I'm coaching them along and mentoring them a little bit on SWAT stuff and they're very accepting and they're very collaborative, and I love working with them. The next episode coming out, I think, is the one that Lena directed. Lena Esco, who plays
Ooh,
Chris.
cool. Good on
Um,
her.
I'm pretty sure that's the next one coming out. And Ryan Kelleher is a writer, and I had a lot of fun with them. Lena is great. She was awesome. Lena was awesome, and she was just, Odie, I need you to be. I hang out usually with all the directors, and I walk with them, and then they say, hey, Odie, how about this or how about that? She was just exceptionally, totally involved and excited and had fun, and it was fun. It was fun to be around her because she was just so in tune with what I like, and we both like the same thing. And the writer was just spot on. And if we needed anything, if Lena wanted anything changed, boom, he was on it, and changing stuff on the day as we're shooting. So he was just, that it was a fun episode. This one coming up was fun. We had a good time doing it.
I'll keep an eye out for it. And obviously, her name will pop up. I've seen Shamar also producing a lot of them as well. It's great that the actors are really getting in there and want to learn some more stuff and have more experience with behind the scenes.
Yeah, definitely. You get they all like to do the stuff behind the scenes. And Lena had directed. She directed the one that's coming out next. And I don't know if you remember. I can't remember the name of it, but Alex directed an episode this season also. I just can't remember the name of it right now. All the episodes are like run into one for me, so I have to try have to differentiate them.
It's like one Alex long film for you.
Yes.
Yeah. So did you guys have to, for Mexico, maybe talk to any like local Mexican PD as well, just to, I guess, see how they do things, or was it kind of just as you normally would?
Just as we normally would. I was down there with Shamar, and we had a couple actors that were in the cast, and so I would help them out a little bit. So that was pretty much it for down there. It was pretty much me helping out Shamar. We try to, for our guys, I'm on it with our guys, whenever we travel, whenever we do anything. And if we have some cast that's coming in from different areas, or for there, it was a couple different things. So yeah, I was one showing them how to do their stuff also.
Well, you also trained Irish actor Tim Murphy as well, because he played the bad guy for the Mexican episode.
Yes.
What is it like training someone that is just doing like a cameo like that, instead of, that whole team that you guys have, that you train them from day one and they know how you like things and how you work?
Yes. No, that's a good question. I had fun. Tim is a great guy. He's an awesome guy. And I have seen him, like you, I don't know. I've seen him in many different things, before this, like Sons of Anarchy, and he's just been in so much. And, I usually find he was a very, very accepting. He was willing to learn. He took everything to heart, and he worked hard at it. And I love teaching people like that. I love instructing and training people like him, because it's fun and they take it to heart and they really want to look good on camera. And he really did. He looked really good on camera, and he worked hard, and he's a great guy. And so that's what makes it even a lot more fun when you're doing it, when somebody is very accepting, very willing to listen to what you have to say. Because, there's times where everybody, in my community, in the SWAT community, law enforcement, military, people do things a little bit differently sometimes. And so I tell my guys, I tell our team, the cast, I'm like, you might go out and go shooting with somebody, or you might meet a cop on the street, or you might meet a SWAT guy or whatever. But my big thing is, people do things differently, and they might say, well, my way is the greatest way since sliced bread. But, I make sure I just tell them, like, whatever they do is not wrong. It's just that they do it different. So, make a long story short, when it's, if somebody is doing another show, I will never criticize that show or that person, just because everybody does something differently, and what they do is not wrong. It's just they do it differently, just like I do.
Yeah.
And so that's what I instill in them, and all the guest cast that was on that I train. But Tim, speaking of Tim, he's just a great guy. He worked hard, and he looked good. Yeah.
Oh, he sure did. I really love some of those behind the scenes shots too that I saw up on your Instagram. Like I said in the other interview, you need to follow Odie, because he's got some really good behind the scenes shots and videos on Instagram. It's good to get that bit of a look. And another episode actually introduces a public safety app to civilians. I want to know, what is your
Yes.
opinion on that? You know, technology is growing and growing now, and there's more apps than ever before. It's kind of getting a bit ridiculous now. What isn't there an app for?
Yeah.
Do you think it is a good idea in real life to do something like this, or would kind of what happened in the episode probably take place?
I know I'm not heavily into apps like that, but I know there is, a few apps in the US and I don't know about there that, neighborhoods have, like your own neighborhood might have an app and people post on it every day. And I think, that's what they were basing I think it was called Sentinel. I think that's what they were basing it off of. And then they were trying to take it to the next level that if people were going to get involved and kind of, I don't know if I want to say vigilante justice, they want to take it to the next level where most of the time in the neighborhoods and people have those apps and they just, say, hey, there was a guy breaking into cars, or look out for this guy dressed like this or whatever. And, if it got to that level, like we had on the show, that'd be kind of rough for law enforcement, just because people are trying to take things into their own hands. When you go someplace and you respond to a call like that, you have to make sure you know who everybody is when you arrive. You could mistake somebody that has a gun out, for a bad guy. And unfortunately things happen, but yeah.
I saw that it had its pros and cons. Like, it's good
Yes.
to, as they say, I know here in Australia we have like the see something, say something,
Yeah.
which is great. But yeah, if someone wants to take it in their own hands, it's not safe for all the civilians.
Yeah, definitely. I think see something, say something, that was born from, I want to say from, like a 9/11 type of thing for like terrorism. If you see somebody, somebody sitting the backpack down and they kind of walk away and then they don't see him for a few minutes, you're like, hey, wait a minute, what's the deal with this? And let somebody know, right? Report it to somebody. But yeah, it's and I think on that episode, Sentinel, I think the guy that owned the company was offering like $100,000 if you could catch him or something like that, from what I remember. So yeah, that's not a good that's
Yeah,
not a
that
good
puts it
thing
into
to
the
be doing
dangerous.
either. So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah. And in another episode, Chris and Deacon are attacked by a drug cartel looking to kidnap their wealthy VIP client. I
Oh
remember
yes,
some, behind the scenes shots as well on your Instagram of this, and even on Jay Harrington's Instagram stories. And it's in that little old western sort of town, I don't really know what to call it, like for tourists. What did you
yeah.
find the most challenging with that sort of setup? Different
I mean, I
sets.
love those kinds of setups. I mean, I think for us, it was just hot out there,
Oh,
and
yeah.
every day it's hot, and then it's dusty or whatever. But other than that, I mean, I love that type of stuff. The storyline is, Deacon works for a security company, which I kind of, tossed onto
Related with.
them. That's what I do on the side type of deal. So they took it from there, and it's basically what I do on the side, the same exact thing. And I thought it was a great episode. It was out there, and there was a big stunt, a couple of big stunts. The one where one of the stunt guys rolled the Suburban down the hill, where the tire gets shot, and Deacon rolls the car down the hill. And you know, I love doing stuff like that, because you see when they come out of the car and Deacon's in the car and he's trying to grab his rifle. So I kind of guide them and help them, trying to choreograph that and how that will work to make it look believable as a tactical sense. I think I've told you before, it's like sometimes Hollywood likes to do stuff, over the top, but I try to massage it to make it tactically believable. I mean, there's stuff that we would not do, but I try to make it look believable tactics wise. And I think that was a great example of it looking really good, because, Deacon's in the car trying to grab his rifle and the guys are shooting at them, and they get out and they use the car for cover, leaning behind the engine block. And then Deacon gets out and his arm's dislocated, and the guy unzips his rifle bag for him. And then they run behind the car up the hill for cover. So, a lot of that stuff, I mean, I love doing that. So it's fun. But I think probably the biggest thing there was it was hot. I just remember it being really hot for the few days, 3 or 4 days that we were there.
With those sort of scenes too, when you got the car rolling down and then the next shot is them obviously stuck, but the car pretty much upside down or even to the side. How do you do that, and specifically like in the safety regard for the actors?
We have a great stunt team. We have some core stunt members that are always on scene all the time. And Austin Brewer, Jake Swallow, Lance Gilbert, Tori Vogel. They come up and they'll read the script and then they decide how to do the stunt. And then when the stunt happens, and they make it safe for the actors to go. So one of the stunt guys had rolled the car down the hill. The stunt department made sure that it was safe, cleared everything out. You clean the glass out, all that kind of stuff. And then you put the actors in and then you yell action from there. So, I mean, our stunt department is awesome. They've been nominated for numerous Emmys the last couple of years. So they do a great job. They've been on, they do a great job. They've been on a lot of major motion pictures and TV shows and all that kind of stuff. So I can't say enough about them. They're great. They're just a bunch of great people.
It must be really hard for the actors to like try and squeeze in the car when it's already flipped on its side or upside down.
Oh yeah, it's hard for them sometimes, and then I give them a hard time sometimes and keep them going. And there's a lot of stunts. Like Lena had a big fight in that episode, and she did a great job. One of the stunt actors jumped through the window on that one. So it's there's a lot. We have a lot of stunts, and like I said, our stunt department does a great job in accomplishing that. And I work closely with them for the tactical side of it for law enforcement, SWAT. And we work really close together, and I think we make it look really good. So
you really do. That's why I love the show. So I'm guessing pretty much nearly all the fighting scenes, the actual actors do that themselves instead of bringing in a stunt person, unless they're obviously jumping out a window or something.
It all depends. It varies back and forth. What happens is, the stunt department will get somebody to come in and they will rehearse. They'll rehearse the fight, and they'll do it the way that it should probably look. And they do it numerous times for hours a day, rehearsals. And then they will show the actor, how the movements are and all that kind of stuff. And if the actors feel comfortable, then they'll do the fight. And usually they'll end up doing, a part of the fight, and then the stunt guy or stunt woman might do the other part of the fight that's more involved or whatever, a lot more. But most of the time they sit and they'll watch the rehearsal, and then they get involved in the rehearsal. And then when we yell action, it's a combination of both. But then a lot of the times the cast will do a lot of the fights. So, yeah.
Well, thank you to all the stunt people out there too. That's another job that we just kind of forget about because we just always think it's the actors, but they really put their lives out on the line.
They do. Yes, they do.
How long does like an episode like that take to film? Is it, you said like a few days, it was really hot. So is that like your whole filming pretty much a whole week of just one episode?
Oh, it takes anywhere from 8.5 to 9 days for us to do one episode.
Wow. There you go, guys.
And
that
then,
puts it in perspective. Appreciate each episode.
And you only have 42 minutes. The episode's 42, 43 minutes. So the director does all of the shots that he needs to get, and then it gets sent to he goes through and does his cut, and then it gets sent to editing, and then they do their cut. And then what you see in the end is the 42, 43 minute version of the 9 days and hours and hours and hours upon shooting that you get. So a lot of stuff, that are,
too, isn't it?
Yeah, since COVID, for the COVID stuff, we usually do 10, 11-hour days, which is great. The crew loves that. Like I said before, they get to go home, spend time with the family, have dinner. Before, we were working 14, 15-hour days and Monday through Friday. So that was kind of rough, but yeah, so it's 8.5, 9 days to do one episode.
Gives it a bit more balance in your life now too, it seems like.
Yes. Yep.
So how far in advance do you think with the filming it is from when it's actually aired? Is it months in advance? It would have to be, right?
Yes, it's usually a few months. So like I think the one next week with Lena's directorial debut, I think we did that a couple months ago, I think.
Okay. So yeah, really a couple months.
In the beginning we try to get some in the bank, and then as time goes on, it kind of catches up, and then we're usually a couple episodes ahead in filming before it gets aired. So
That's good. It's always good to be in advance, just in case anything happens, like
Yes,
COVID
yeah,
when that happened.
definitely.
Yeah. And in episode 11, it really opened my eyes up to how much we use technology these days, because SWAT tries to find a
Yes.
hacker, which resulted in, pretty much shutting
Oh
down all
yeah.
their
Hmm.
computers and going back to, I love the old school way, getting the paperwork out and things like that. Do you have
Yes.
like a new appreciation for technology yourself now too?
I love technology and I hate it. I think I grew up in the age where you only had the files and you had to look through the file and all that kind of stuff. But it is nice to have everything at your fingertips. I mean, it's a blessing and it's a curse at the same time. I mean, the world survived without all the technology we have now, and
Mm.
it continued on. But it's also nice to have it. But I don't know. Sometimes I would just like to not have it and go back to the old way of calling somebody up and saying, "Hey, how you doing?" But I don't know. It's not going to be like that anymore.
No,
So
it
got to
keeps
live with it.
advancing, advancing. I don't think we're going back.
Yes, and
But
then
did
we
you
wouldn't be able to have this interview if we didn't.
exactly? I'd actually have to go to LA to chat to you.
Yes.
And so, did you help them kind of figure out that whole episode then, with how you just said that that's how you did things back in the day in the police department? That they kind of grabbed tips from
Um,
you?
that not really on that one. That was all them. I mean, I did like I said with the cast and all the kind of tactical stuff in that one from what I remember. They came up with that one and I don't think it was just tactical stuff for me in that one pretty much from what I remember.
Except for, I guess, reading through the script and editing
Yeah, well, yeah. Reading
now
and
and
giving them
then.
notes
Yeah.
for, I go over the costume documents with the writers also, and with the props department. We go over some stuff every once in a while. So yeah.
Because I do remember in our last interview too, you did mention that in the real SWAT, they don't do actual investigations in between going out. That's just something they've put in the show. So that must make it a bit difficult for you to, as you said, try and make it authentic as possible. But being able to, when you're editing the scripts, okay, yeah, well, that's a good one. That's a good investigation.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, I've come to the, I'm a pretty easygoing guy, so I know that's how it was when we first started. And so, yeah, we don't do investigations. You don't see, like on the show, you'll see the cast drive out and be talking to somebody for an investigation. We don't do that. So we don't chase after people like we do on the show with all the gear that we have on in real SWAT. I mean, it's heavy. We have
I've always
real,
wondered that, like everything
yeah,
jiggling
no.
around the gun, and how can you run?
Usually, yeah, when you have a SWAT team that comes to a house, usually you'll have a perimeter set up with SWAT guys around it, and then an outer perimeter will be patrol people, and then you'll have a helicopter and all that kind of stuff. So frequently on the show, we don't get to have all of that stuff. So the cast is doing the majority of doing entries and stuff like that, where normally you would have many more people doing an entry into a house than just 5 or 6 or 3 people like we have on the show.
Mm.
And when you go into a room, I have to massage sometimes where they just want to have Shamar or somebody look in the room, and I try to fight for, well, we would actually go in the room. We just wouldn't look in the room to see if anybody was in there, because you can have somebody secreted in any closet under a bed and stuff like that. So I kind of put up a fight on that stuff sometimes, and 99% of the times I get my way on that, because it just looks kind of sloppy if you don't go into a room. And then there's times where you'll hear on the show, something like Tan will open a door and it's a big room, but if they don't see inside the room, I can just have Tan say closet only. So then it's like a small space. So then they don't have to go in. So it's kind of, you try to fudge things back. You try to fudge things along the way. And then I change stuff, we change stuff on the day when we're actually shooting to make it, flexible and always on the move.
I love talking to you and hearing all this stuff. It's so interesting. I'm serious. You don't get this sort of stuff from the actors, just saying. Everybody wants to interview the actors.
Yeah.
Interview the hero behind
right.
it all, that makes it all.
Yeah.
That's a huge compliment to you. Just take it. Just
Thank you.
bask in
Yeah,
your glory,
it's
Odie.
hard. It's hard. Most of us are hard, most of us, you get kind of humble and I guess embarrassed by the accolades, I guess, because you're not used to that. So
Yeah. That's all right. You can always expect on this show. I'm going to be your cheerleader. Woo! Well, as I mentioned, the last episode I watched was that art heist where Hondo's sister Winnie was unfortunately held hostage. I loved the use of night vision goggles, though, in that episode, and some of like the camera angles when the night vision goggles got knocked off and then the camera went into the. I thought that was really cool. Not that you had anything to do with that, but it kind of got me thinking about, all the different types of equipment, because throughout all of SWAT, they're using there seems to be using a bit more of the night vision goggles now, but those flash grenades, the smoke bombs, the guns, Black Betty truck as well. Is that the same sort of equipment that you do use in the real SWAT? Is there anything that's a little bit more, as you said, kind of massaged a little bit?
Yeah, there's 99% of the stuff we use is real stuff that SWAT teams use. I'm trying to think of a couple things like night vision goggles. Departments have those. We all use flashbangs. There's a couple things, that I toss in that is research and development, I call it, where because a lot of cities don't have big budgets like Hollywood, right? So
yeah, I had to start with
cities
just the
might
tape
get
when you were.
right.
I remember that last interview.
Yeah, cities might have cities have small budgets, and so what happens is you might ask for a piece of equipment, and the city and you get it as research and development. So the company might give it to you, and they'll say, okay, you can try it out for a couple months. And you try it out for a couple months and you're like, man, this is great. But then you go back to the city and they say, well, we can't afford that piece of equipment. So we can't buy it. So that happens quite a bit. So on the show, I try to get, stuff that is different that we might not normally use or not use, and use it as research and development, and tell the viewers that it's research and development. Like we use actual taser pistols on the police department, and on the show we have guns painted green that are, the taser pistols that are not actually taser pistols. They look more like flare guns, but in real life you use the actual taser pistols. But everything else, night vision goggles, like you said, the one that was a Billy Gearhart episode, he directed that. He does amazing things with stuff like that went through the night vision goggles and watched the fight, and that's probably one of the big things that I hear everybody say that was cool. Everybody liked that.
Yeah, you don't really look at camera angles that often, but for that one, you're like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, definitely. And but everything they have, they don't have like plates in their vest like we would normally have in real life. They don't have rounds, obviously, in their gun, in their magazines like we really have. But everything else, the SWAT, Black Betty is an actual armored vehicle. One is an armored one and one is not. We got them from an actual company that provides armored vehicles for SWAT teams. It's called a Gurkha, and I think it's made by Teledyne, I believe. And a lot of departments have like other different models that are made by different companies. This is the one I think that probably looked the coolest out of all of them. So this is the one that we got. And we got two of them. We had one, and then when we got picked up for another season, I think season 2, I think we went and got another one because the other one was getting kind of beat up.
Yes, obviously.
So, but yeah.
5 seasons. It's got to eventually.
Yeah. So yeah, everything that we use on the show is pretty much everything that we use in real life. But there are some stuff, like I said, that we get in and use for research and development that departments don't have or are made up actually. So.
Yeah, well, it's good that obviously with season 5 now that it has been going on for a while. There's a lot of people interested, a lot of fans. That I'm guessing the budget has been able to go up so that you can actually get some other cool stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. The budget thing is not my thing. I think our producers.
Sorry, I didn't expect you to, but compared to like say season 1 where you're still trialing the show out and see if there's going to be any audience at all.
Right. I mean, our producer and our unit production manager, they do a great job with the budget. And like I said, I don't pay attention to that. They give me the script and I go over it and I send in my notes and then enact it on the day when we're shooting it. So
and just correct everybody. And in
Yeah,
that art
exactly.
heist
Yeah.
episode, you were in that too, weren't you? I swear, like, at the top of one of the night vision goggles, I did see, Sergeant Stevens, like, the name on it, and I was like, hey! I think
Yes,
that's
I was.
Odie.
Yes, I did I was in the part where we were all in what we call a stack, and we came down the hallway, and then I posted up as they all went by me in the background. And then I was also in the night vision goggles with Lena, and went into the room and took the guy into custody
Yeah.
that was in the closet.
I had to pause it. I was
Yes.
like, that's Odie! Oh my god! My mum
Yes.
thought it was Kenny Johnson. I was like, that's not Kenny, that's not his
Yeah,
voice.
yeah. No, no, no.
Oh.
And then the one this coming Sunday, I'm in a little bit. Lena's episode, I'm in that one a little bit. So yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. I'll keep an eye out for it then. And
Yes,
I didn't get
yes.
to actually ask you this last time. With obviously playing Sergeant Stevens, there you go, that's something else people might not know. How is it being on camera for you? Because that is very different from all your law enforcement work and even, being the working behind the scenes and helping everyone out. What's that like for you? Is it a bit, daunting and now you've got cameras in your face, or you just do what you gotta do? Because you're the pro anyway.
I think you just do what you got to do. Lena, actually, the last time on this episode coming up, we come under fire, and I get in front of the Gurkha with Jay and Kenny, and I'm sitting in the front of the Gurkha, and they're kind of like doing the acting thing, like doing all this kind of stuff, and I'm sitting on the side, like being calm, and Lena's like, Odie, you can't be. I know you're usually calm under fire, but you're on TV. You can't be calm. I'm like, okay, I get it now. You want me? Okay, I got it. But no, other than that, it's. I wouldn't say it's as much as daunting. I think probably the first time I did it was, I want to say it was an armory. I'm not sure. I'm not. I mean, I'm not easily impressed by, I don't want to say actors or whoever it is. But I think, on my first episode when I did Armory, I am standing next to him. I'm in this little circle with Patrick St. Esprit, who's been in a bunch of big movies, Shamar, who's been on a ton of stuff, Jay, who's been on a ton of stuff, Kenny, who's been in a ton of stuff, and Lena and Alex was in Chronicle, I think, a couple of things before that. So it was, and Lena, so it wasn't daunting, but it was much as when the camera comes to you at that moment, everybody's, all those guys are looking at you, and you're like, yeah, okay, this is weird, man. I mean, I got all these guys that I've seen on TV and movies or et cetera looking at me when I'm going to deliver my line. So it was kind of weird. It wasn't daunting. I mean, I did undercover work in narcotics when I was on the department, and so you get some people that go, "Oh, have you taken acting classes?" And I'm like, I acted for real life when I was working in undercover narcotics. So, I mean, my little bit of acting training I had was, I think I actually did take a few classes when I got out of the Navy, because when you get out of the military, you look for different things to do. You're trying to find another job and find out what you like. And so I did take a class after I got out of the military, where the person that owned the studio was Gordon Jump, that was the boss in WKRP in Cincinnati. If you've ever seen, you're probably too young for that, but
No, I haven't.
he was a boss. Yeah, he was the boss on that show, and it was like his studios, and he was in partners with somebody with. But
Wow.
yeah,
there you go. You didn't tell me that in the last interview.
yeah, but I also, I watched. I mean, I've been with these guys for 5 seasons, and so they all give me tips, they all give me input, and obviously I watch how they move. I mean, I'm there every day, so I watch them act every day. So I kind of just play off of them, like as they play off of me when I come in and do something as a SWAT guy, or I show them something. I play off of them as actors and see, okay, maybe, if I'm going to have a part coming up, then I'm like, oh, okay, I saw how Shamar did that, or David did that, or Lena did that, or whatever. And I kind of take that into my part whenever I do it.
And it's funny, I'm going to look out for that next episode when you're going to come in. It must have been like a great day for Lena to be able to boss you around where you're doing it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I think she loved it. Yeah, she loved it. Every time she's like, Odie, come on, I need you. You need to get in it. You need to get in it. You need to get in the space.
You need to
All
do
right,
this. You need to
yeah,
do that, just like you do.
yeah. Yes, she was loving it.
So you do a lot with your job. There is that little bit of acting sprinkled in there a little bit. A lot of it is obviously tech advisor and checking over the scripts. What is your favorite part of the job? Is it kind of teaching the actors how to shoot and do their drills and do specific scenes, or is it like the finessing of everything?
Lauren, I mean, I think honestly, it's all of it. I mean, I love doing the training with them. I mean, I love seeing how they progressed over 5 seasons and how they listen, how they take it to heart. I love, I'm not, I'm never going to be a big actor. I'm never going to be like anybody on the cast, but I mean, I have fun doing my one lines or my little paragraphs here and there and going in and doing it. I mean, I love doing that. I love the crew. I love hanging out with them. I love coming to set every day because it's something different. Because, I mean, for 28 years, I worked in law enforcement. And then before that, I was in the military. And then before that, I was from a small town. So, I love doing all of it. I love, talking to the crew and I mean, I just have fun. There's not one thing I can pick out. I love walking on set. I'd like to, I'm on the show every day. I'm doing stuff every day. I'd like to have my name get out there maybe a little bit so I could do some other things in the same realm as in advising or, I would do little parts here and there, if they came along, like I said, I'll never be the big, everyday person, everyday cast member, but I have fun doing the little things that I do.
Yeah, that's good. It's the little things that count, isn't it? And I can see the passion in
Yeah.
your face. You just love it all. I
Yeah.
don't want to pick Lauren.
I know it's hard.
It's like picking your favorite child. Like, no.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Well, I thought it would be fun now to just quickly talk about the actors that you do train and how they really are on set. So, who do you think is the most fun to work with on set? Or is that a little bit of a hard question too?
That's a hard question because we all have fun. I give David probably more of a hard time than anybody. Um, as in fun, we give each other more of a hard time than anyone.
That's what you get with best buddies, isn't it?
Yeah. And, I give Shamar a hard time. We all give each other a hard time, but I probably give David the hard time out of more than anyone on the cast. So.
And who do you think is the most likely to stuff up first? Whether it's their lines or the specific drill?
I think everyone has a moment where from everything, everyone has a moment where they mess up the lines or they mess up, I always get on them if they do something that they haven't done for a while, doing a tactical scene or whatever. And, but I think everybody, even across the board, everybody messes up and they all, Patrick's always usually on. He doesn't, we call him, he never usually brings in his sides. You have sides that you bring with you and you look at your lines when you're on set. And Patrick, he never brings in sides. He always has them in his head.
Huh.
And so,
wow. So would you call him the biggest perfectionist then on set? That was my next question.
I would say, yeah, but I'm just saying, this is their job and their craft. And so they're all perfectionists at what they do and their part and their character and how they do it. And for my stuff, they all want to be a perfectionist at what I teach them and how to do it and do it the right way. And, we had a director. I mean, all directors I enjoy all the directors. But you'll get some directors that are like, what do you think, Odie? When we're sitting there and we shoot the scene and I'm like, well, can we do one more where, somebody didn't, put their gun up when they came in the room and they're like, oh yeah, so we're going to go again. So, they all do that. I mean, even I do that. Sometimes I mess up doing stuff, right? When I'm given a line or if I'm, sometimes even tactical stuff, I forget like, shoot, I forgot to tell them to do this or whatever, it's just part of all of us as you do. I mean, I'm sure doing your interview sometimes like, oh crap, I wish I had done that or I forgot that or I messed that one. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're only human. We've got to stuff up every now and
then.
Yeah.
Right.
And who do you think is, for final one, who do you think the class clown is?
Definitely that's going to be David is the class clown. Jay is funny. Jay is a comedian, right? Jay, I always ask for Jay, like if I have a picture I want to put on Instagram, I can always go to Jay and just show him the picture. Boom, he's got my caption like that, and he's great at that stuff.
It's good having a friend like that.
Yeah, definitely. He's awesome at that stuff. He can come up with it just off the top of his head. I'm not the most, and for Instagram stuff, I ask David or I ask Shamar's photographer, who's JD. I'll ask them because I'm not, the most. I don't know everything about Instagram. I know how to do some stuff, but I have to go to them. And when I ask David about it, he'll be like, "Oh man, come on, dude." I'm like, it's not my thing.
Yeah.
And JD, he helps me out with some stuff too, but it's funny. But I would say the clowns, David's a clown, and Alex is actually a clown because the three of us have our little battle going back and forth. I think Alex, this past season, we were out. It was the one where the football player, have you seen that one? The football player, we were out at this college, and we were in all of our gear, all their gear, and all their chairs and stuff were in this one room. And my chair was out there, said Sergeant Stevens. And so David, he walked, unbeknownst to them, I was sitting in the corner. And so David goes up to Alex and he's like, "Hey," and he was filming it, because we always film giving each other a hard time, kicking each other's chair over or doing whatever. Yep. And he's like, "Hey, Alex, say something about Sergeant Stevens." And Alex starts to talk. He's like laughing and making fun of my chair. They were doing something to it. And when he was done, I just yelled over there. I'm like, "Hey, I'm right here." And they're like, "Oh crap!" Dude, Alex is like, "Oh, sorry." It's funny.
Oh, I love that.
But anyway,
such a family, isn't it? You guys are all like brothers.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Well, something really funny as well I did see on your Instagram was in one of the episodes, you posted a photo with the Gallop gourmet truck from the show. Was that deliberately put in as a joke and like named after you?
Yes. Yes, they do that frequently on every episode. Usually there is one of the cast or one of the crew, one of the directors. They will come up with names on different things, and put them on different things. Like in headquarters, you can never see it, but sometimes they'll put like the producer's name as like one of the officers of the SWAT officers of the month and stuff like that. The unit production manager, when Lena was going through her obstacle course last season, I think, when she was doing the master gunner, they had a cutout of him holding a gun, so they do little things like that they put in different episodes that is pretty fun. That's pretty interesting. And the little thing you get to try to find.
Yeah, I like that about episodes. You're like trying to, instead of just watching it as it is, watch the scene with the actors, you're like looking in the background, what are they chucked in?
Yes, yeah.
Like even the night vision goggles with your, Sergeant Stevens' name at the top of the goggles.
Yes.
I was like, I noticed that.
Yes.
Maybe not other people did, but look out for it next time, guys.
Yes.
And I wanted to ask too, I don't know whether you know, but do we know yet whether there's going to be a season 6? Fingers crossed.
I got my fingers crossed, and I don't know yet. I haven't heard anything, so hopefully that'll be coming out soon, one way or the other. I hope. I'm hoping on that. I mean, we've been doing really good. All of you guys, everybody, in other countries love the show, so it's big in other countries, and we're all hoping that we get one more, couple more, 3 more, 4 more seasons out of it. So hopefully it'll be coming soon because we wrap the end of April. So hopefully we'll hear something by then.
Well, I'm hoping so. Like I did see on the internet, compared to season 4, season 5 was actually up by 44% in viewership. Like especially in terms of like the same day ratings. So that's really, really good numbers.
Yeah, and we're on Sunday nights at 10:00, so that's late. The thing is we get moved around a lot. I think we're like, the performer that they want to put something in, and then they move us to like a Friday night at 10 o'clock, and then they move us to Sunday night at 10 o'clock. So to have the viewership that we have and the ratings we have from being moved around all the time, it just shows the fans that love the show and are dedicated to the show. And, the writers are always, they have a live Twitter. I don't know if you've seen that yet, but they have a live tweet on Sunday nights when the show's happening, and the cast comes on and talks some stuff. And then sometimes I try to figure it out on how to do it. And I try to jump in the mix. And, but our viewership Sunday nights has been great so far. I mean, the last few episodes have been awesome. So, like I said, it's hard. And, we get preempted because a basketball game will be on, March Madness is on. So we get delayed by 40 minutes, or it's usually a football game, or, State of the Union or whatever it is, and so to have people to keep watching and keep us involved and keep the ratings great is just awesome, because, we're all over the place and switching nights and switching, we've been on pretty much the same time, except for this season we started, I think the first few episodes we were on Fridays at 8 or 9, one of those times. And then, we got moved to Sunday nights at 10. So to have the fans keep following us on different nights and not knowing when we're going to be on, and then sometimes we're off, for a month, and then we come back on, or we're off for 2 weeks, and to have the ratings still being good and great, it's all a reflection on how dedicated fans are to watch the show, and how I think the show puts out the product that makes it really good too. So like I said, I think our show, tactics wise, between, it's us and SEAL Team, and then after that, it's like, I think we're the two best shows on that do the, tactics wise, that look the most real.
Yeah, I was just about to say that with the quality of the product, that speaks for itself. And, it is unfortunate Sunday at 10 is a bad time, at least if it's Friday at 8, 9 or 10, then you've got Saturday the next day. It doesn't matter to watch something late, but being a weeknight, that's a bit unfortunate. But thank you, fans. Keep watching it so we can get a season 6.
Definitely. But we have. The last few episodes have really torn it up on Sunday nights. It's been great. So
yeah. Well, good luck. All my fingers and toes are crossed, because I want more seasons too, and obviously want to keep you in a job.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Now, before we finish up, I did want to talk quickly to you about the call signs, because some people, I even looked on the internet, a lot of people are confused, and I was like, let's just sort it out today with Odie, because obviously being law enforcement, you're a little bit more up with it, but I think people are confused, because, Hondo is 20 David, but people were confused why Deacon was called 30 David. Shouldn't that mean he's kind of in command of like 30 David team? I don't know. Can you educate us?
Well, usually, usually the call signs is what the show gave them, and everybody has a separate call sign. So, like you said, Deacon's 27, Shamar's 20. I can't remember what everybody's called. I know mine's 71. But usually, you'll have a sergeant or supervisor in charge of the team, and usually it's not a couple. Like, Deacon is a sergeant and Shamar is a sergeant. Usually you would have one sergeant on a team in charge of one team and a sergeant in charge of another team. But, like you've seen from season 1 that plays on, Jay Deacon is, he should have had the team in the very beginning. And so they kind of keep them together. But, it all depends on different departments. They have different call signs for everyone. And, even for patrol units that are different. So it varies. But once you get your call sign, then, for the show, then that's what they've kept them at.
It must stop getting a bit confusing after a while with so many people. Like,
well, I can't remember, I can't remember. Yeah. Well, honestly, I can't remember their call signs. I rarely go by their call signs. So I know Shamar's, 20 David. And then after that, I would have to look it up to see what, I know what mine is, but I would have to look it up to see what everybody else's is every time we use their call sign, because we'll have something. I'm like, who's 30 David again? Or what? I go up to David and I'll go, what's your call sign? They'll say 30 David or whatever it is. And I'm like, and then I go back to the writer and say, okay, have him say 30 David, I'm on scene or whatever. So
yeah,
it's good.
You kind of that part on the script.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, I'll take the writer's word for it. Yep, that's the call sign. That's good.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate your time today, Odie. We love always having a bit of behind-the-scenes look of the show, and we love to have you on again, obviously, in the future. So come back on. Just consider it your second home, all right?
Yes, definitely. I love coming on. It's I always have a good time, and I love talking to you. And it's always fun for me to do something like this. So it's not very often that somebody will call and say, "Hey, can I interview you?" And I have fun doing it. So it's all good.
I'm glad. Well, keep in touch. And before we go, can you tell the audience if they want to, see some of your cool stuff that you post up, find out what you're up to in the future? But obviously, you're going to announce if there is a season 6. Where can we go follow you?
Yes. Well, I'm on Instagram at Odie Gallop, and just remember that we get all the whole cast, and myself included. You get people that try to impersonate you, and no one, I do not, and I can speak for a lot of the other people, no one will ask you for anything, right? So if somebody says, "Hey, I'm Odie, and how are you doing today?" and then they keep talking, and can I have, whatever money, can you donate to this? I will never do that. I will never ask you for anything, and neither will they. So just make sure that you verify that it's me or the cast members. All those guys have blue checks for the celebrity thing. I'm still kind of a blue collar guy, so I haven't gotten that yet. And I just I'm kind of fighting it. So, but you'll be able to tell by how many followers I have. And it's ODV Gallop, ODIEV, and then Gallop, GALLOP. And that's my Instagram. And, that's you'll see all the pictures I post on there and everything. If you get on and you see like 30 followers or whatever, then it's not me. Or if you get on, there's like Odie. 3 pictures and it's not me. Yes.
Yeah. You like to post regularly, which we really, really appreciate. Plus,
I try to, yes.
You and all the actors, you're too busy to bloody message people and ask for money anyway. Or You just post one post and it would go out to thousands. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll put the link below for everyone so they can go follow you as well. So
yeah, I got hacked. I got hacked on my first one, and it got shut down. Yeah, it got shut down, and I tried to go through them to get it reinstated, and you know how that is. There's like nobody you really talk to. It's like you have to send something in, and then they sent me back a thing saying, yes, you're trying to impersonate. I go, no, it's me, actually. It's me, and so it was funny. It was the whole thing. But anyway.
Does that mean all your previous photos were lost as well?
Yes. Everything that I put on there before was gone. And I had like 10,000 people or something close to that. And so, now somebody will, DM me and say, "Hey, is this you?" And I go, "No." And then somebody will text me with a thing saying the person saying they're me, saying, "Hey, what are you doing tomorrow night? Do you want to go to dinner?" And I'm like, "That's not me." So yeah.
They organize a dinner and you just don't turn up. What happened, Odie?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So be careful with that sort of stuff, guys. And
definitely.
Don't just rely on having your photos just on Instagram because, there's hackers out there, unfortunately. But
yes.
Thank you so much again, Odie. I know I've already taken up an hour of your time. I was going to play another game, but we'll save that for next time. We've had a good time anyway.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Odie. Keep in touch.
Thanks, Lauren. All right. I'll talk to you later.
Fingers crossed for season 6. Good luck.
I'm trying. Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Goodbye, everyone. Have a good time.
Well, hope you'll enjoy today's interview. If you'd like to check out any of our other interviews, including our first interview with Odie Gallop, please visit our website, raveituptv.com. And while you're there, please check out our book, Knowing What I Know Now, as well as a little mini ebook I wrote last year called Staying Strong, Finding Inner Peace During Hard Times. And please share Rave It Up with your friends. Spread the word. And we really appreciate anything you can do to support us. If you'd also like to further support us and also receive behind the scenes and bonus content, you can become one of our Patreons for as little as $4 a month. That's like a coffee, right, guys? So please visit patreon.com/Rave It Up to check out some more information. Thank you so much for watching today, and we'll see you next time. Bye.